A pole.
A pole, yes.
But yeah, that shop is always fun.
Fireman pole, because immediately I would have thought stripper pole, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm sure I don't know why. Yeah, so... Yeah,
maybe I'm just a stripper at heart. I don't know.
There's always so much to look at that shop, and there's always just a lot of fun. Everybody who works there seems to really love their job and enjoy seeing, different people that they see every year.
And we ran into more W people again.
Yes. Oh, and in fact, I ran into Corey Eichelberger, who I talked about on our first episode from a class that I attended of hers at W. So that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
See her out in the wild. So.
And then from there we went to Needles and Skeins.
Needle and Skein.
Needle and Skein.
Yes. No plurals. Although I don't know how can you knit with just one needle?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Well, yeah, but it still has two ends. I mean, it's still two.
I'm sure if you tried hard enough, probably.
Maybe.
I don't know where you'd put once you cast off, where you'd put it on.
Yeah, could be tricky.
Yeah.
But yeah, their hero is pretty awesome.
It was Wonder Woman. Had to get my picture.
Of course.
Taken with their little stand-up thing. Kit is wonderful. It's a gauntlet. Wonder Woman gauntlet things with the blue and the red and the white. And I was looking at the colors that they were named. Justice, Guardian, and Truth. Like, perfect.
Very nice.
Yeah. Gorgeous colors.
Yeah,
we'll have to link all of Christy's Instagram pictures to the show notes.
Yeah, they were fun too.
Yeah.
They were fun. I don't know what I'm saying. I think that those mitts are going to be really fun to make.
And they looked like I'm not much for color work just because I don't like stretching yarn across, and I can't get the tension right. But these look like these might be easier to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't look at it too closely. I was just like, oh, pretty. I'm going to take this bag of yarn now. Thanks.
Because it's more like, they looked more like striped work than, color work.
Okay.
So I'm excited.
And it was kind of cool to see the new owner's shop. That shop
was that big walled area there before?
The big walled area.
So when you walked in, how there was the open space in the front, and then it kind of tapered off to an L towards the back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, the footprint
that
seemed similar to me.
Yeah, but
it was just designed,
the back
arranged differently.
Seemed different.
Oh, maybe.
Like, I don't remember that bigger wall, long area being there.
Yeah, the deep part over there. Yeah, I think that might be true. That it didn't seem. Yeah, it seemed a little different, but I can't.
I thought the store was more open before. Like maybe they built a room for something, like a storage room or something. I don't know,
could have been.
But I liked it. It was nice in there.
Yeah, it seemed nice. They
staff was wonderful.
Yes, staff was very nice. That's one of those places that carries like Shibui and some of those.
And they have Apple Pay, which
they
we
did
both
have
love.
Apple Pay. Yeah, it is so much fun to pay with my watch and have people go, "What?
Right?
What are you doing?" Even in places where they should know better. Like, I can understand that a yarn shop your average yarn shop is probably not going to get a ton of Apple Watcher people, but other places that I go, they're like, "You want to do what now?" I'm like, you have the thing right there, but with your phone. No, watch. I mean, yes, I can use my phone, but my watch is right here.
Right.
My phone's like all the way in my pocket.
Yeah. And then from there we went to Knit and Bolt.
Yep. Also, new ownership.
Yep.
Of a location that had closed. Similar kinds of things. It's both they have yarn and some knitting things and some crochet things, but then they also have fabric.
Mm-hmm. I love their fabrics because they're unique.
Yeah.
It's not your Joanne Fabrics kind of place.
Right. Yeah, they've got some really... I want to go back there sometime and take a longer look and see if there's some fabric that I either want to figure out how to make something out of, or perhaps
I was able to talk Jan into buying some fabric.
Yes.
Not that it was difficult at all.
Yeah, it was so much twisting. Twist what?
Okay, and then their hero was...
I'm not exactly sure I understood their hero.
Because they had a picture of like a nondescript superhero woman, and then they had a picture of Princess Leia.
Oh, okay.
So it was like Star Wars and...
Yeah, it was not clear on their hero, but their hat is cool.
Yeah. It looks like a beanie hat with kind of a flipped up rib, but then you flip the rib down and there's 2 eye holes.
Yes.
So then it's like a little mask.
Got a built-in mask.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
So,
and the colors were beautiful.
Yeah. It's kind of a, there's a word for that, but they remind me of comic book colors.
Yes, kind of red, blues, golden,
yellow, yellow, yeah.
But they're kind of like a muted and a kind of a little bit of a jewel tone, like a muted, because like the red wasn't quite like red,
right?
Yeah, kind of an orangey red, but soft.
Yeah.
And then we're heading now to our home store, W, which we did stop at last night, so we already can kind of talk about it because we saw the yarns and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So their theme is Camelot, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Which I think is fun. The Knights of the Round Table and King Arthur and Guinevere and Merlin, of course.
They have lovely minstrel music playing in the background. And then they had decorations up, which fit the theme. And their colors are very regal. These nice deep blue, royal blues and royal purples. And yeah.
Yep. It's a mountain colors yarn.
It's a cowl.
Yes. Yeah, there are 3, I think, right?
A hat. What was the other thing? And like a shawl, right?
Yes. Yes, that's right.
Yeah. And the cowl and the hat, I believe, have this kind of not really crisscross, but kind of a offset crisscross.
Yeah.
Beautiful little pattern in there. And then they had a nice backdrop. A lot of these places this year had a backdrop or some sort of photo opportunity.
Yeah.
Which I thought was cool.
Yeah, I think it's kind of fun to do things that are interactive because people are taking photos of themselves and whatever during the hop anyway.
Right.
Sometimes we don't, but sometimes we do.
Yep. And then every place we got to pick up a bead. And so now we'll be turning in, when we get to the end, is it a necklace or we can turn it into some sort of a charm?
Well, yeah, so I think we get a cord. I think the intent is that you can make it into a necklace, but I think, depending on, I don't know how much around 15 beads is going to be, if you can do a bracelet or whatever.
Since I wouldn't wear either one of them as a guy, I'm thinking I'm going to see if I can
You're going to turn into a woman?
You're very funny. Renfest here, Renfest.
Yes.
But I'm thinking, because when I was at one of the shops, I think it was Twisted Loop, I saw this beaded abacus counter thing.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm going to see if I can somehow turn mine into one of those kind of like beaded counter things. Mm-hmm. Because I've been doing my 10-step blanket where I have to keep track of my slip stitches, or not my slip stitches, my wrap and turns. Mm-hmm. So then maybe I can just use that as like a stitch marker / counter.
Oh, yeah.
So that might be handy.
It's not necessarily, not that anybody would judge you for wearing a necklace like that.
Right.
But it isn't, that's one thing that I think is sometimes a little challenging, is that they are thinking mostly about women and, for what kinds of things people would like to receive on the hop.
Right.
I thought one thing that was sort of interesting is that, because I was thinking about the fact that in the past I've taken, when we leave a shop, I usually take a photo of the pattern without showing the pattern and the yarn that I probably bought, and like the bead or charm or whatever that thing is that they had as the premium for doing the Easy Pass or donating to the food shelf. But that's because, the charm was something that you could only get at that shop. Whereas this year they were doing, like, everybody had a mix of these beads, and you just chose a bead from the thing. And, you saw the same variety at most of this, I pretty much saw a lot of the same things at all the different shops. So then it was sort of on you to make sure that you get things. On the one hand, you could probably do all the same or pretty much the same if you wanted something more similar, or if you wanted things that were all different. But on the other hand, I can't identify which bead I got at which shop, which is sort of different from past shop hops. So it was just a little bit different because when they did the plastic beads for a Rogue County bracelet a few years ago, the bead that you got was the specific color from that shop.
Right.
So.
And I mean, and I do like when they do, like, one year they did everybody got a stitch marker.
Yeah.
That's something functional that went with. The 2 years that they did the buttons and the bags, I mean, that was cool, but I haven't really done much with them.
Right.
So I like when it's something that I can keep using.
Right.
And then our day is almost done.
Yeah. Our hop is nearly over.
Now, are you guys going to stop in the shop tomorrow at all?
I will after my fantasy baseball draft. I'll probably just stop in and do my practice and stuff. Well, it starts at 8:30. We'll probably be done by 10:30-ish because we do it online. So it goes pretty fast. Okay. We meet in person, but our website runs it.
Okay.
So it usually goes pretty fast. A lot faster than it used to because there's a timer now. We can pause it. We have the control to do that, but we usually don't too much.
Because I will be at my home shop in my full Renfest gear to kind of tie in the Camelot theme and be like a real life prop for her photo booth. And I think my youngest said she would come with and dress up too and be in her stuff, but she said I had to take her to get coffee. She said, what time to what time? I said 9 o'clock in the morning, and she's like, I'm gonna need coffee.
Right. Yeah. Well, it seems only fair.
Yeah. I told her I'll fly, she can buy. And she's like, all right. So overall, how did you guys enjoy the shop hop this year? Crickets.
Overall, I mean, I always enjoy it. Last night when I was kind of going through the yarn that I bought yesterday, I wasn't super excited about making any of the projects, which is a little sad.
Right.
So I'm not exactly sure what that means. Maybe it just means I have so many projects, like 30 or so on the needles.
Well, we are excited about making the Doctor Who one.
Yes. Well, I actually thought about, especially since those are like mini skeins, that I could, roll those into balls pretty quickly without having to wind them for realsies.
For realsies.
Well, like with the whole like ball winder and Swift and stuff. It's like my setup at home is subpar, so it's a hassle. So it's a lot easier to wind stuff at the shop. So that's part of it too. Like I can't do anything until I wind it. But these little mini skeins, maybe. But I gotta finish something, just something.
Right.
I am really great at starting projects, and I am not so great at finishing them.
I think I'm gonna bring my 2 projects for sure. The 3, I should say, the Doctor Who stuff and the Wonder Woman stuff, and I'm gonna try and get those started on my trip.
Yeah.
Do some fun knitting for once. Instead of tedious stuff that I'm used to.
But, I mean, there are things that I'm looking forward to, and then other things that I really like the yarn, but I wasn't sort of, the pattern is fine, but I probably will use the yarn for something else, or things that I don't know. I think there's so many cowls, and I own already so many cowls that I'm just not sure about how many more.
I know,
of
doesn't
those
that always feel like a default? Like when you're not sure what to do with something, cowl.
Well, it's sometimes also my default for, I'm not sure what I want to knit. I always enjoy knitting a cowl, which is why I have so many.
Yeah.
And they are practical, and I do wear those. Those are something that, unlike my shawls, my cowls actually do get worn.
Right.
And they're small enough that I don't have any trouble blocking them.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to start hunting around for enough yarn for that What's My Fade shawl that one was wearing.
I have yarn for that. I bought during did I buy that during Shepherd's Harvest last year, maybe so I bought a bunch of stuff from Darn Yarn Minnesota. I also bought some project bags for her, and she is now actually based in Wisconsin, but she was based in Minnesota when she started her company. So Darn Yarn MN. She had some really cool yarns. So so I have yarn for it. I just haven't actually decided to dive into that project because it's going to take a while.
Right. Because it's got some brioche in there.
Yeah. And I have so many projects that, that might be the other, might be thinking of something else, but they're similar. No, I think it's Find Your Fade. Well, anyway, I have so many projects on the needles, and some of them are large, like that baby blanket, which way bigger than necessary for a baby, gotta tell you.